Greetings, kings and queens, and welcome back to another amazing video. You know, recently I created a poll on my community wall, and I wanted to include all of my supporters and helping make a decision on what kind of video you guys would like me to do. And one of them was a vegetarian Indian dish. The other one was a tea video. And the other was a video of mowing food. And the highest votes was the vegetarian Indian dish. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to go over all the ingredients as I always do. Now mind you, the ratios is going also to depend on your liking. You don't have to use the ratios and the measurements that I've done. It depends on, you know, what you're liking. You don't even have to use all of what I'm using. You can use less, you can change it if you want. It's entirely up to you, but this is what I'm using in this dish. The first thing that we're going to go over are the spices. By the way, the name of this vegetarian Indian dish is called Aloo Gobi. The measurements are more or so about a full teaspoon to 3/4 of a teaspoon. I'm not going to say which ones they are. It's just what my preference was. You can use yours as well. So from the top left is onion powder, curry powder, turmeric powder, ginger powder, and I'm using ginger powder, which you can use fresh. I do have fresh ginger, but I prefer to use that in my smoothies. Next to the ginger powder towards the right, garam masala, smoked paprika, chili powder. Above the chili powder is cumin seeds or comino seeds, and some Celtic salt, a salt that has a lot of minerals that we usually don't get in salt we use today because it's just totally depleted. So these ingredients that you see in front of you is usually the base of the dish. These are the vegetables, aromatics that we're going to be using to put this dish together, and usually what it contains is the cauliflower, some potatoes, onion, tomatoes, garlic. I do have some chickpeas there that I wanted to add as an extra protein. Chickpeas usually are not a part of the dish. Sometimes people do put, you know, beans or peas inside this dish, and I'm just adding it as an extra protein. And it's a tomato-based dish with all of the spices that I've just showed you, along with the garlic and the onions. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pre-cut all of this off the camera, and then we are going to just show you how I put it together, and we'll be back. Okay, kings and queens, so we are back once again. Everything is washed and cut up. I just wanted to go over something really quick. I did end up using another small, besides those 2 potatoes you saw, I ended up using a smaller one along with that. I didn't use a whole head of cauliflower. I used half of it. I used half of that large red onion. And here's the tomatoes. Here are the cilantro leaves, because I did chop up the stems because I want to cook that down with the garlic. And I forgot to put in the first few clips. Usually is used chili peppers. I don't have chili peppers. I do have the red chili powder, but I ended up using a serrano pepper. So let's take all of this on the stove and get it going, and let's get started. I just wanted to add that instead of using flat bread with this, I opt out of that. I'm going to use some rice. Usually you can have rice with this dish. Usually it's a basmati rice, but I'm using jasmine rice instead. So I'm going to use this as a part of the dish. So let's get to going on the stove and get some of those onions and garlic and everything fried up, and let's just make it all happen. Okay, we are back once again, kings and queens. I added the potatoes first because they take a little bit longer to cook than the cauliflower. Sometimes people roast them or they pan sear them first. I didn't want to do that. So they're soft enough, but I didn't want them to get too soft to when I add my other ingredients such as the cauliflower and the chickpeas, that they would become mushy. I still want them to be intact. So make sure that when you do this, just to make sure that your potatoes are like maybe 3/4 of the way cooked. My oven is going off. I have something in the oven. That is 3/4 of the way cooked, so you don't end up with mushy potatoes. So I went along in there with my cauliflower and my chickpeas. So I'm going to put the lid back on this, leave it maybe for like about 10 minutes or so, and then come back.